Hi, my name is Harry Tie, and welcome to Odejuma. Odejuma is an Ishekiri farewell that loosely translates to till tomorrow. But for me, I look at it as a promise that there is so much more in life to look forward to. And this interview driven storytelling podcast is rooted in that promise. So as you take the time to listen, I want you to feel that as we go deeper with folks from across the Black diaspora, exploring the adventures, resilience, joy, and the ordinary moments that change their lives, that you would have a good, hearty laugh or you find something to sit with. Because there is power in the stories of everyday people, and these stories are worth telling. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Odejuma. I'm super excited to be back with you. Before we get started, if you're new here, please follow us wherever you're listening to this podcast right now, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeart, wherever. Please follow. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'm so excited about my guest today. He is a multi-talented artist and also one of the stars in the new season of Chasing Atlanta. I have Samii Austin. How are you, Samii?
How are you? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Very excited to talk to you. I am a fan of the show. I watch the show. So I'm kind of like
What do you
looking forward.
think?
I
It's a
am looking
lot.
for I'm looking forward to this conversation. Also, even moving past the show, but just learning more about you and your journey so far. So thank you so much for coming through. So let's get started. Please let our audience know, our listeners know, a little bit more about Samii. Who is Samii Austin?
So I am originally from Tampa, Florida. I was raised here in Atlanta, Georgia. The oldest of three and the only boy. Have two younger siblings. Been dancing all my life, but started rapping once I lost my voice when I wasn't exercising my singing as I should have been. But just because I love music that much, I didn't want to give up on it. So I started rapping or writing raps, I should say, like way back in middle school. I kind of got serious with it, I want to say around 2017. My best friend put me on one of his songs. He's also an artist, he's a singer. And he put me on one of his songs. That was the first time I did like a fully packaged thing, like getting in a real studio, recording, doing a visual, performing on stage, like my own like verse to like an original song. So I was just like, okay, I actually really like this. Like this is fun. I can see myself doing this for real. So I was just like, kind of drop a freestyle here and there. And then eventually I started putting out my own work and like really just going forward. And now I am the Samii Austin that you guys see today on Chasing That Lady.
Awesome. That is pretty interesting. And you talk about losing your voice. So I'm guessing that there was a time when you were singing.
Yeah.
And so losing your voice must have been scary. What was that feeling like for you?
Yeah, it was really scary. I mean, and then also that was like pre-puberty era. So like my voice changed like when I stopped. But yeah, from elementary all the way up through middle school, I was singing, I was in the choir. I went to a private school, so we used to do like all of the arts would like go and perform and like do competitions. So I would like sing solos and just like perform that way. But yeah, once I left the private school and went into public school, I just stopped singing. And like I said, after that and hitting puberty and just like life changing, trying to do it again was just like, whoa, that doesn't sound right. But like I said, I just couldn't like give up on it. So started like just writing raps because I was into poetry. So I was like, let me try to like flip this a little bit. And then rapping became a thing.
That is pretty cool. So from singing to dance to poetry to rap. So you've done everything. Because I also see it's like your performances and everything. You could tell that you actually do know how to like, dance and stuff. So is acting something that you also want to conquer? So let's just be a whole triple threat. Is that something that's on the radar as well?
Yeah, that's something that is definitely on my radar. Crazy enough, I was having a conversation with a friend, and I like to like approach being an artist in like the old school form. Like all of them were like triple threats. Like you could see them acting, you can see them like singing or doing what their like major talent is, whether it's singing or rapping. They were modeling, like they were doing the things. Like there were three main things that they were always doing. So I always wanted to try to embody that like nowadays. So acting is something that I think I would enjoy doing that. And I think it would be cool to kind of like play someone else in a sense. So I think that would be actually kind of dope.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. And I think I can see that as well with everything. And the music is pretty good.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna talk about Chasing Atlanta at some point. Yeah, I know. I think
Mhm.
that's a song that, everybody really kind of really likes and everything. I thought that was like a really, really, really pretty cool song.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration behind that song.
So the song itself, crazy enough, is a double entendre. Like it is on one hand a very like somewhat cocky and like boastful song, but at the same time it's very like affirming. And that was kind of like the point. Cause you have those days where you don't feel your best and it's like you literally have to kind of like be like how Issa Rae was and insecure and like look in the mirror and like talk to self. So to me, that was like one of those moments where when I wrote the song, I was just like listening through beats because again, music is just how I kind of like push through like those lows in life. And when I heard it, immediately connected to it, I was like, oh, this is fire. And it just literally came to me. Yeah, I know it was the first three words that came to mind. And I just started filling in the blank. And it's like, what do I know? What do I need to tell myself? Like, what do I need to affirm to myself? Or what do I know that I can like really essentially pop my shit about? Like, what is like factual to me? So, like I said, it kind of carries weight on both ends. And from there, I just try to push that even through performance. Like I'm big on engagement. So when I'm performing it, I like to get the crowd engagement. I want them singing it by the time I'm done. Like that's really the bigger picture of it.
Awesome, awesome. I really like that. And you've been an artist for a while. What are like the challenges that you face as an independent artist trying to make your name in this very, packed industry, if I should
Mhm.
say?
Yeah, nowadays the thing is everybody is doing it. And it's not saying that like in a bad way, like everybody does it now. Like you could either have the passion for it or you could wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? I think I want to rap. Or I think I want to sing. And that's cool. Like, art is expression. So however you need to, kind of go through it and get it out, do it. But I think for me, it's finding a way to separate myself from not only those who are just doing it as a hobby, but for those who are like actually really going for it. Because that's the thing, like this field is very competitive. So it's just like every little thing has to have intention. Like for me, I rap. Most rappers don't dance. Even like the female rappers, like it's rare that you see them dance unless it's like a music video or like a big, big performing stage. But as far as like men, you don't see them rapping. Even the gay rappers, you don't see them dancing. You don't even see many gay rappers dancing. So I'm like, okay, that's already one thing. And then two, I always add a little extra by not performing to like a track, which is not a bad thing. But again, I like to stand out. So I always have live instrumentation, like as if I have a band behind me where I perform. That's just like another thing that I do where it's just like you can hear my song and you can be like, this track sounds good, but the way he performs it and the way that the music just sounds like this and it just takes you from here to there, like with your mood, like that's what I kind of strive to go for. Like I want people who watch me perform to like walk away feeling like something or feeling something at all, period.
That's pretty cool. And it seems like you take the art very seriously. That's what is coming across. So that's pretty cool as well. You talk about, as you were speaking, you mentioned gay rappers. I know that we're in the community. I feel
Mhm.
like sometimes it feels like gay rappers, especially when you are not mainstream. Obviously, a lot of rappers, first of all, who are gay and black are not even mainstream to start with.
Right.
And so there is a way that the community doesn't really fully acknowledge the artistry that comes from, black queer rappers,
Mhm.
if I must say. Can you
Absolutely.
talk about that a little bit and how does that affect how you approach your work in
Uh,
general?
the thing is, like, I think what people will always respect is authenticity. Despite those who choose to wake up and walk in ignorance, a majority of the world, they will connect with you in some way when you're authentic. And I think that that's something that I always push. Like that is just something I embody when I wake up and walk out the door. I could not even be doing anything Sammy related It's just you have to kind of embody that star power just from the go. Like when you walk in a room, they should look at you and be like, dang, who is that? Like that's kind of like what you should give. But I think the struggle is like a lot of people don't take you seriously. So you're always kind of on. Like you don't get a chance to kind of like just sit in it and chill in it. Like you're always on trying to like prove yourself essentially. But yeah, I think being authentic is the rewarding part. Like I don't have many, I would say, of our like cisgender counterparts. Like I don't have many run-ins or issues with them, even when performing in front of like a majority like straight crowd. The reaction is still pretty good. Like you might get a couple guys here and there where they just like, wait, hold up, what he said? But at the end of the day, it's like when you kind of just have it, like they respect it. Like it's been great to actually get that feedback from straight men and be like, hey, I can't completely like vibe with what you're saying. Like I can't connect with it, but you like you good, like you are talented. So just even connecting with them on that level is good enough for me. So it's really just about us making those connections. And you can only do that when you're like really authentic.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's good to hear. Okay, cool. And I also want to talk a little bit about the queerness part of it. I feel like being Black and queer is its own thing in itself.
My God.
So I'm a little curious about your journey so far. You said you grew up in Atlanta, you're from Florida, what was that like growing up as a young queer Black boy in the South? And how has that influenced how you move through life today?
I can tell you one thing. Think one real life influences art. Like that's the thing. So like a lot of my music and my coming up and the stories that I try to tell with my music come from like real life lived situations, whether it's mine directly or like a friend's. But yeah, navigating that space is a little hard, harder than it should be because we unfortunately are very critical and trying to get your own people to connect with you sometimes is just like pulling teeth. But I also think that's the first mission. It's like connecting with your people. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons, not to like jump ahead, but one of the biggest reasons why I really wanted to join chasing. Like I wanted to get in front of my people. Majority, of course, of my performances are in front of like our community, but the biggest thing is like the influence and the representation of our community. So if I can basically show and prove that I'm doing this in a way that makes us all look good. Like it's really less about me and more about like everyone. So like if just like with Saucy and Lil Nas X, like when they started getting the notoriety they got, that gave us like a major push just as a community in general. So it's like I want to be like that. Like I want to have that kind of influence like on the world. Like I want people to look at me, yeah, but look at the community as a whole like okay, we can take them serious and we can gamble and take a risk on them and not feel like it's gonna turn sour or anything like that. But yeah, as hard as it is, it also makes the biggest difference. Like once you have that backing from your communities.
And have you always been like, comfortable in your skin? Always been like, when it comes to like your sexuality and everything?
Not always. It has definitely been a journey from like just suffering with anxiety, body dysmorphia, just like going through all the things. Like I'm currently in therapy. Like I started for like grief counseling, but that's turned into just like life things. And there have been like so many layers that I've had to like pull back to like really find out who self is every day, every session, I'm still like figuring out current day, like who I am. But as I do that, it just helps me tell the story even better or give just more insight as to what life is like, not just for me, but someone who's like me that doesn't feel like they can tell their story. But yeah, it hasn't been easy, but it's been a worthwhile journey that I'm still literally walking to this day.
That's real. That's real. Thank you for sharing that. And what are some of the things you've learned from just going through this journey right now with like therapy and finding yourself and unpacking all these things from like, your childhood and your present and everything?
Definitely, you can be your worst critic. And while you may be the first person to kind of tear yourself down, you're also the first person who can build yourself up. So I literally try to build myself up every day in my faith and just who I am. Taking the right strides. Everything that I find myself afraid of doing, or everything that I was afraid of doing before, I'm like doing now. Like the opportunities that keep coming up where I'm just like, oh, I would love to do this, but I'm scared. I'm nervous because I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't know how they're gonna take this. It's like now I'm like, go for it. Like the fight or flight thing has like come into play, but the decision to fly is what I've like decided to like go with.
Awesome, awesome. And speaking a little bit more, in that lane, is that what you bring to your music when it comes to like inspirations? And also maybe to take it even a step further, what is that creative process like for you? Like, do you hear a beat first? Do you hear a hum first? Do lyrics pop in your mind when you're maybe like going to the grocery store or something? What does that look like for
Right,
you?
literally. Oh my goodness. So the creative process of it all, well, one, to answer the first question, yes. I try to like push that in my music where on one hand it again just sounds like really cocky, just like, yeah, I know like it sounds boastful, it sounds cocky and conceited, but like when you really listen to it, it's like you can quite literally be looking at yourself in the mirror and sing this song, and it's just like a boost of confidence by the time you get to the end. So yes, to answer your question, that is something that I try to put into my music, even when it's just like fun music. But even with that, it's like I try to make music that engages some kind of feeling and emotion that's positive. So it's like I want you to move. I want you to get up. I want you to feel good. I want you to feel like a baddie if you want to. I want you to feel like, you are the baddest one in the room and, you just own everything. Like I want people to feel like that. So like when I put that in the music, like I try to structure it in a way where it doesn't come off overly cocky, but just enough of like when you listen to it, you be like, you know what? Yeah. And now I'm saying it and I'm like saying it as if like these are my words. Like that's what I want people to feel. But as far as the creative process, it's so mixed and skewed. Like it's crazy. Sometimes I can just be driving and just random line or two will like pop in my head. Like my phone, of course, like most is like my best friend, but I use mine for different purposes. Like I literally am jotting down just random lines. Like I literally have a folder full of like just random lines that I'm just like jotting down, jotting down. And then if I'm like listening to something that's really good, like some of my inspirations, I would say current day. Like some of my inspirations are like a Doja Cat, a Doechii, like where they can make like conscious rap but they make it sound good. Like it's a vibe, like it's a bop still. So it's like when I hear them say stuff and it just like clicks and I'm just like, oh, I feel like I can say this but say it in a different way without like taking what they saying, but make it mine. And then, that's like one method, but sometimes I do literally just scroll through beats. Just recently, I literally probably scrolled through like 200 beats. Like in one day, I'm just like scrolling, and if it doesn't move me, I'm just like, okay, next, 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 next. And then when I hear something, I'm like, okay, I like this. And I feel something, I'll hold on to it. Or I can hear something and it moved me so much. If I can come up with at least four solid bars within like the first minute of listening to it, that's how I know it's the one. Like, yeah, I know it was literally that. Like when I literally came up with the hook on like the first time listening, by the time I got like to the middle of the song and the hook was coming back in, I just like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, well, this is cute. I kind of like that. That's a chant. So let's build off of that. So it's like that is another way. It's the most typical way I would write. Like I would just listen to something until I can feel what I want to like evoke. And then I just start writing from there. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. But, you know, either way, it usually comes out great.
Okay. That's real. That's real. But 200 beats though. I mean, being an artist seems like a lot of hard work. 200
Yeah.
beats.
It's hard work and it's expensive. I don't think people realize how expensive it is. Like, if I could give you like a rough estimate for me, I think to put just a single together, just putting a single together probably costs $700.
Wow.
That's probably on the low end, like just like a quick run through like the beat alone. And this is if you're doing it the right way.
Oh
Or
my
if you
God.
don't have or if you don't have no homeboy that can like, do all the things. Like buying a beat with like all the proper rights can cost anywhere from $200 plus. So I just say 200 for four just for 4 hours in the studio is $250. So we already at like almost 500. Then you
Mhm.
still have to do mixing and mastering. It's probably like another 150 to 200. I get my music for performances with the live instrumentation. That's another 150. Again, everything the right way, copywriting, like all of that, that costs money. Um, it can run you a pretty penny. So like those who can push out like full-fledged projects, I have like the utmost respect, especially when you're doing it independently. Having somebody behind you with a little bit of coin, that's cool and that's usually the goal. But like independent artists who are putting out like full-fledged projects, like hats off. Cause I haven't even gotten to like a full project mode. Like I'm still, dropping singles here and there, and I'm actually coming up to that point, but it's just like, Jesus. But
That
it's
sounds like a lot, yes. And then I'm guessing music videos are also very expensive to
yeah, just to
do.
book the videographer, that can run you anywhere from like 500 to 700, depending on what you're trying to shoot. Like it is expensive.
Wow. So how do you keep pushing? I don't want to assume that you have like someone with coin behind you or
I
anything.
wish.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a lot of motivation that you have to give yourself to show up
Yeah,
and keep doing it, as an independent artist. Do you feel like you're getting like the value for so you're working hard in this regard, putting out music that is quality and that is, that you're very proud of. Do you feel like it's balancing out with like, audience reception, getting booked for shows, money wise as well? How would you gauge that?
yeah. I think it does all end up being worth it to an extent. Like again, being independent, not having a manager, like we don't have a lot of people that can get you in the right places. So even with that, to kind of answer another question you had, like that's a challenge of like finding the right avenue because there's been plenty of times where I get booked for a gig and of course like I'm excited because it's like this is another chance for me to show what I do. So
Yeah.
that alone makes me like want to just go for it. But sometimes when you get there, you'll like find yourself in a situation where it's just like this is not what you said or what I thought it would be. But you also, it's one of those things where it's like you have to like hustle for it, so to speak. So
Yeah.
it's like you kind of start from the bottom. You'll start at the little hole in the wall clubs. Like you'll start at a open mic. You'll start at karaoke or whatever the case, and then work your way up to like the big things like the prides and different festivals and working your way out of state. So I mean that's the challenge. But again, once you start getting there, that's the reward. Like I remember, I'll never forget when I booked my first like at Black Pride event in Atlanta.
Mm,
That was almost like peak I made it moment. I was just like, oh, we here because like I just was actually the year before. I told my fiance I was like, I want to perform on stage like that. Like I want to be up there. I'm sitting here watching people who are like doing so good. Everybody's vibing, but it's like I want to like that's where I want to be. So to find myself there within the next year and then for like a couple years following that, that was probably one of the most rewarding things because like that means people trust you in your craft to like
yeah.
put their name on you and then put your name on their stuff and put you out there. So it can be very rewarding.
Awesome. Awesome. That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's get into the a little bit of the tea, a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit of
talk
the
about it.
mess.
Let's talk about it.
So you are on Chasing Atlanta. Chasing Atlanta has been a one of the most popular, I think I would say most popular gay reality shows that has been out for a while. Garnered a lot of following over the years. And now it came back with a new cast. I think only Dominique is from the old
Yeah.
cast, I would think.
Dominique and Tony Bryce. Yeah.
Yes, and Tony, who I love, by the way. I think she's pretty amazing.
Yeah, she
And so there's this new cast. First of all, how did you even land the gig for Chasing Atlanta?
I mean, I saw they were looking for like new people. So I'm like, again, shot in the dark because another one of like my big fears was like getting in front of the world. But it's always been like, I want to be on a show. I want to have my own show. it was a thing of like, I had to literally talk myself out of that like mindset. I was just like, oh, I want to do it, but I don't feel like they're gonna pick me. I don't even like, I just thought like if I do it, they probably gonna be like, child, like he ain't really doing nothing. But I did it, got the interview, and even doing the interview when I like first met Dario, like before I even got to Dario, not to give away like the setup, but like there's like a pre-interview and then an interview. And I didn't even do the pre-interview. I went straight to Dario and the rest of like the executive producers. And that alone to me was just like, okay, we might be like we good because I didn't even have to, I ain't have to do that. But talking to them was great. Like they were very, very interested in just my story and my following based on what I show on social media. And I remember one of the producers walking me out to the elevator and he was just like, we literally like scrubbed your Instagram and everything about you is just like so polished and clean and like of quality. Like that is something that they really were looking for to have on the show. So it was given like everything was mutual. Like they were like looking at me and I'm looking at them and they were just waiting for like everything to align. So that's pretty much how it happened. And from there, it really was just go. And the discussions that they had to make sure I was shown in the best light, they made me very comfortable. So once I signed on, like it literally was go time.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And how's the experience like? First of all, like I'm sure it is very you're yes, you're used to the cameras and you're used to the entertainment business, but now
Mhm.
you have a camera, you have a crew in your home, you have a crew going out with you, you're spilling all your beans,
Mhm.
you are involved in conflict, and we are different people when there's conflict. I think that's a universal thing.
Yes.
But the beauty about like me, for example, when I'm in conflict with people, there's no camera to capture, that
Right.
experience, right? And now that is something that is happening with you. So what was that experience like? What surprised you the most about filming?
The whole thing was like initially it was nerve wracking. Like if I can give some insight, like my intro to the show was at my single release party. I felt like everything that could have gone wrong kind of went wrong. That was just, that show day stuff. Like it usually happens like that. Like I didn't have my dancers. My face was breaking out because I was stressed out. I literally didn't find my outfit until I think the day before, and then I knew that was gonna be my first day filming. And I'm just like, well, what if people don't show up? It was so much going through my head. I could almost barely perform. But that also is the reason why I literally broke down crying at the end because I was just like, okay, I made it through it. They living for it. Like the response was great. I already knew Nick prior to the show because he grooms my dog. So I already knew him. So like seeing a familiar face and him bringing somebody that was new, that was interesting. And just meeting with them was good. And even that very first sit down, I was just like, oh God, there's cameras like right here. Like there's cameras watching me. And I'm trying to like make this look as natural as possible. But once like we kind of got going, I actually forgot that they were there. Like I think people forget like what you see on shows is literally a snippet. Like I think we sat there for a good hour, maybe almost hour and a half, just like talking. And I was just like, wait a minute, we shooting the show. Like, we gotta go. Y'all gotta go. Like, what's happening? But it was really good in the beginning. And I think every first few scenes for me felt like that.
Yeah.
It always it was just getting used to it. And then towards like the halfway mark, it's like, okay, we're going to shoot. Let's do this. Once I got comfortable around certain people, like we were good. I just tried to again make sure I was showing myself in the best light.
Mm.
And you know, I think I did a good job compared to some. So that's all.
Would your castmates think the same way if I bring them on this show? Would they be
I
like,
think so. I think so. Maybe a couple of them might say no, but I mean, we would all know why. But I
okay?
mean, it always got to be one hater in the bunch. But I think the majority rules and the majority would say that I, showed up very well on the show and just in general because going through this experience almost being over, like for this season, I literally walked away with like new friends, and that was honestly something I did not expect to answer that part of the question. Like I was actually shocked at how many friends that I would kind of like walk away with, like new friends. So I think that was the biggest thing and probably one of the most rewarding outside of course, being on the platform in general and like people really getting into my music, like just seeing the engagement like shoot up since being on the show. Um, has been great. The next best thing was literally making those connections. Still getting used to people noticing me when I'm out. That is still very new for me.
Mhm.
Like I've been out and they're just like, "Oh, you're on the show," and then it's still a little weird, but because I still even feel like with all of this, like I'm just like I'm so regular, like I'm just chill.
Okay.
But the experience has been great over.
Okay. And did you watch the show before you got on the show?
I did.
Or did you come in just like nothing, no prior context before?
Yeah, I watched before. I watched the first 2 seasons when Chasing Atlanta first got introduced, and then when because I actually knew somebody that was on those seasons. And then I met Oliver Twix the same year. I think it was my first year that I did Black Pride in Atlanta when I performed. He also performed, and I met him, and I knew that he was on there. I started watching to kind of see what he was doing. And then even him and I, prior to getting on the show, and I know he got his stance when it comes to the show, but his support has been like everything. We got really close. So again, it just made me want to like watch the show even more and be like, let me see what he getting into. How's he handling things? And then after that, when he found out that I was on, he was like super supportive. Like he's probably one of my closest friends in the industry per se. And he's also like a mentor because he is a great artist. And the way that he manages his social media is like wow. So
Mhm.
I'll call him in a minute and be like, friend, I need some help. I'm just trying to make something shake and I feel like I'm losing it up here. Get me in
Mhm.
line. But
Okay, that's pretty cool. This season, if you watch, if you, I watch. I don't want to say I watch a lot of reality TV, but I watch the good ones.
mhm,
I watch The Housewives, The Married to Men. I watch really good. I like reality TV. I just don't have time, honestly, to watch it all. It's just, there's a lot of shows right now, but I love a good show, and I like that we are seeing more Black queer reality shows.
mhm,
I'm down for. We got to support our people. We got to support our community.
for sure.
If you can watch, a show on Bravo or any of the other platforms, Zeus or wherever, if you can watch, our cis hetero counterparts, you can support us as well because we deserve support too.
And the thing
So
is, it gives that you wouldn't be watching anything different but a different cast. Like the quality
yeah,
is, and the storylines are amazing. Like it's giving the same thing.
yes, and we can connect to the stories. Like these are a lot of us are leaving some of the things that folks on your show and other shows,
Mhm,
other reality shows, whether they're on YouTube or any of these platforms. We are leaving those experiences as well.
mhm.
And so, yeah, I really appreciate this, especially this season. Especially, I think this season has been so grounded. Yes, the messiness is there,
Yeah,
but it just feels like yes, like I really like y'all. I like everybody on the cast. I think all of y'all are doing amazing work on
thank
the
you.
show. And so yeah, my little spill. But what I want to say is like how would you define yourself in the every show has the part starer, the bone collector, the peacemaker, what would you describe yourself? What would you describe
I
your
ju-
role in this friend group?
I think my intentions have been to be the peacemaker, but some way or another, I became the bone collector. The people say that I'm the bone collector. I wouldn't necessarily say so, but
Mhm.
apparently I am. I have accepted that role, but I still try to move in a way that I would be proud of, though. Even with
Mhm.
that, um, but yeah.
Is there something that watching back, because I know that there were a couple of things that you got called out for, by your castmates, like, oh, is that what he said, or he was there, or he said this before and he changed when this person came into the scene? Looking back over this past season, is there something that has happened that you'd be like, I wish maybe I should have handled that a little bit differently?
I would say yeah and no. I would say yeah just to make the show a little bit more spicy, but not in like an inauthentic way. So that's why I would say no. I feel like everything I did was authentic and real. And I do feel like some things were misread. I think people kind of got confused as to like what being neutral or riding the fence is versus like being fake. Cause being fake was like never a thing. Me being neutral definitely was the thing, or at least was my intention. It may come across as fence riding, but that's a title that I would not mind holding. But I think me being neutral, me just being a positive being, I don't think at any point I really gave negative. Like I tried to take the positive route in everything, even with my opinions and things that I said, I still try to root it and end off at least on a positive note. So
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm a little curious again. And I know it sounds like a lot of chasing reality question, that line of question. But I'm a little curious, when the scene starts to pop off, when two people are in intense conflict and you're right there in the moment, what is running through your mind? Because I'm always very curious, like, how will I react if I see, and I know that's when sometimes for the show, you gotta let the people go at
Mm,
each other. But I'm like, I wanna like, okay, what do I do? What happens with you when that is at play?
the thing, well, of course, it always depends on the situation, but my biggest thing is just like, oh my God, please y'all don't get to fighting.
Mhm.
Like I hate confrontation. I'm here for a good read session, but when things start getting confrontational, I'm just like, oh my God, y'all, please. Like
Mhm.
let's not. I mean, I know it's good for TV, but I just really hate that. I don't want that to be why you are known for something, especially when it's like serious. If it's some petty stuff and I'm just in your face, you in my face, and we going off, cool. But like when you're there in the heat of the moment, you can feel when like things are getting serious. Like, for example, with Althea and Nova, when that comment was said, that's why you saw me like get up and get my stuff because I'm like, party's over. I'm just gonna go ahead and step over here because I don't know what's gonna happen. I just don't want to get hit with no plate, hit with no cup. I didn't want it to be, none of that. But also given the circumstances, I was like, somebody got to step in. So that's what we all did. We just made sure that it didn't go too far.
And Althea Nova's situation has been the one of the major plot points of this season. And it's also there's a larger conversation going on currently with trans women and cisgendered women. And so I'm sure in y'all's mind you did not imagine that, Art, which is your show, was gonna be coming out at a time when a convo that has been going on for quite some time
Yes.
will be happening as well. How have y'all been taking yourself, like, what has been the response, to y'all, to your cast? How are y'all navigating this time as well?
I think that is one of the most important things. And I think we knew it right when it happened. We were just like, we as a collective are gonna have to like talk about this and discuss it. It was in an unfortunate event. I hated that it even happened. But it happened. It's life, but it did strike up a very important conversation. And I think our goal was for everybody to step into that conversation and handle it, one, respectfully, and two, responsibly. Because at the end of the day, this is a Black queer like platform, and we do have a Black heterosexual woman on this platform. So we have to be responsible on how we're handling both sides. Like we want to be fair to both sides. There's a story on both sides, but there's accountability on both sides. So it's like we have to be able to tell that story responsibly, but also respectfully, because no one should be like ostracized either. And you can hold people accountable without like being nasty. So that was the biggest thing, at least for me. But I think I speak for the group when I say that that was our biggest thing.
Yeah. Y'all are really putting out something really impactful, something really good. Y'all should be very proud of what you're creating and what you're making. Yeah, it's such a really great. I really enjoyed the show. So we'll see. I haven't seen the reunion yet, so we'll see if I have the same the same feelings when that
I think I've
happens.
said it every episode since we all kind of like met. I think it's just been like uphill thing, and I'm just like, hey, put on your seatbelt. Just put on your seatbelt and keep it on until it's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. Are there any, who are the people that you're closest to right now on the cast?
I'm gonna start by saying I'm cool with everybody. Just about everybody. The people that I am the closest to, still very close with Neek. I'm gonna start with the people I knew prior to. Very close with Neek. Still close with Tramel. I got very close with Kendall. I got very close with Q as well as Noel. Those three being like new people that I just met, like we not in like a clicky way, but we talk every other couple of days. Like there's been times where we done spent like whole weekends with each other. Like when I say I literally walked out the situation with like new friends, like that is how it feels. Like it definitely transcends beyond chasing Atlanta. Like we all cannot come back next season and it probably will be the same way. You still would see us hanging out. We would still be talking and being on FaceTime every other couple of days. Like that's just what it is. Also, Tony. Tony has been truly amazing. I already knew like just watching her from the previous season. I was like, she was gonna be cool. When I first met her and I like noticed she was like kind of off to the side, like chilling. She was like one of the first people I think I like actually talked to like one on one. Her and Nova, I think at Q's event, but I think Tony was like one of the first people that I talked to because I just felt like I don't know, I just felt something with her. But I love Tony too.
Okay. So from what you're saying, there's the word on the street is true that there is a click
There is a I won't
in
say
the
there's a
group.
clique.
There are two factions.
There's a fraction group. This dysfunctional family is operating in dysfunction right now. Absolutely.
Hopefully, y'all can do another lemon squeeze and come together as a family. You know what the quads say in Not Married to Medicine Confessional. You know,
You know how like when
bonded.
you squeeze the lemon and the juice like fork back and hit you in the eye? I think they are done squeezing the lemons. But I hope we can I do hope that we as a collective can come to a resolve. Like we all won't be the best of friends, but I do hope that we all can end up back on a level playing field, like kind of come back to square one and just like end off with what we should start with is like respect. So it's just like, I can respect your viewpoint, even though I don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
and we can move from there. So I do hope that when we get to the reunion, that's something that we can accomplish.
Okay, okay, and that's good. That's good. There was conversation during the show about your engagement and the length of your engagement. What's the status on that? Are wedding bells coming soon, or is this still on ice, or do we need to tune into the next season to know what's gonna happen?
It's coming. It's coming. You know how they had that trend where it's like the saxophones are getting louder?
Mm-hmm.
The wedding bells are getting louder.
Okay.
It's coming, and I will say like with the time, I think it's one of those like live things. Like, of course, initially neither of us were like, we got to be together like 10 plus years before we get married. Like, I honestly, for me, at like year 3, 4, I was just like, okay, so what we doing? And like, we talked about it, and it definitely was something that we both wanted. But I think it also got to a point of, I think you notice more the person that you're with more than the fact that y'all are not like married.
Yeah.
Like my fiance is like one of my best friends. So the fact that we have a friendship embedded in our relationship, it's literally like sometimes I literally forget. Like when we got to year 5, I was just like, oh shit, it's been 5 years. And we
Mm,
got to 10 years. I was like, dang, we've really been together 10 years. Like that's crazy.
mm-hmm.
And like even now, it's like we are on year 15 now, actually. So it's just like I just never would have thought that it would have been this long. But the plan has been in motion. It's just been in motion. It's slow. But we've had those conversations where it's like, okay, now we got to do something. Like we got to actually do it now. It's not, I don't want people to think that it's think that we question that we want to do it. It's just more of like actually doing it.
And I don't think there's any question. I mean, 15 years in gay world is like 40 years. So y'all are
Sure.
practically married, So whatever it feels right for y'all, I think y'all can take that step, or. And before we start to wrap up, Mike, I'm curious. What has your experience on chasing Atlanta? What has it taught you so far? And what are you grateful for about the experience?
What I have learned is one, you can't please everybody. You cannot please everybody. You can't please everybody that's in your direct circle. You can't please everybody that's in your indirect circle. You just can't. You can't please anybody. But it also has like taught me to like stand in what I believe. And what I believe is I can still be cool with who I want to be cool with. It ain't got to pick no side. That's what I'm gonna stand in. I can understand this person over here and understand this person over here and not have to choose. Like sometimes it's not, just about like right and wrong. Sometimes it's all about like your perspective and how you're seeing things and really trying to help the people that are actually involved see from the opposite lens, which I feel like was like my role. But I've just learned that one, you can't please everybody. Two, stand in what you believe, regardless of what everybody is saying or what the collective is saying. Something I'm grateful for is one, my new friendships. Two, the exposure, like really seeing people enjoy what I'm putting out, and in turn, like that inspiring me to put out more and do more,
Yeah.
like kind of like quickly. Because usually I'll just be like, put out a single this year, perform a bunch, put out a single at the end of the year. But now it's just like, okay, now I see that like people actually like it for real. So like, let me kind of like continue to feed y'all. Like, let me give y'all more for
Mhm.
y'all to like and enjoy, and just that helped take me to the next level. So those are some things that I'm definitely grateful for throughout this process.
Shout out to that. So you're ready to lock in. That's what I'm hearing.
I am ready to lock in. I am in project mode. I'm working on some new stuff. I mean, y'all see, I've been working on the merch. The merch is out. I got merch. I'm working on new music. Trying to get us lit for the summertime. Hopefully, give y'all an album by the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see. I definitely am. I'm in the lab. I'm cooking. I would tell you that I am cooking.
Okay, okay, that's pretty cool. We have some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
So I'm curious to hear your responses to this. So the first one, what are the top 5 songs on your playlist right now?
Oh, I am so obsessed with Leak It by Flo. I'm also obsessed with Raw 100. I don't know if y'all know her or seen her videos. She has a song out called Feisty, and she does like this little dance. I don't know. I am obsessed with her right now, so I listen to that. Trim is growing on me a lot. Like I admire her as a young woman. I admire her hustle so much, especially in the rap game, and she's almost like doing it like old school, like let me actually get out in the streets. And then also let me give y'all repetition, because like repetition it's that thing that is hit or miss, but like when it hit and it stick, like people are literally walking around singing the song and it's like, why do I keep singing this song? You don't even have to like the song, but because you hear it so much, you're gonna start singing it. But love Trim, and the way I'm obsessed with Ray's new album, I have to give her the last 2 slots to be quite honest. Like Click Clack Symphony is one of my favorite songs on the album. And then I think it's the WhatsApp Killer or something like that. That song has had me in a chokehold like the last 2 weeks. Those are like my top 5 right like at this current moment.
Shout out to that. And you've given me some songs to go check out. So thank you for the
Mhm.
recommendations as well. Who are the reality stars you admire?
I love Tiffany Pollard. Like with all the chaos included, like that's like authenticity. Like I literally remember watching her when I probably shouldn't have even been watching The Flavor of Love, but no, I was old enough, I think. But I like that nothing about her has changed, even to like current day. Like that's real to me. Tiffany Pollard, love, love, love me some Portia. Portia Williams can never do any wrong in my eyes. And she is such a sweetheart. Like I've met her a few times and she just like she will forever have my heart. Like that's my girl. Like she really my best friend in my head. I love me some. I'm trying to go through like all my favorite shows. I really like. I think Quan is cool. I had some apprehension towards her at first, her and Mariah when they came to Married to Medicine, because I was like, just the heavy gay talk at first was just like, I don't know. But after like seeing her in person and like watching her turn up, I was like, yeah, she's like a real one too. Like the way she is on TV is exactly how she is in real life with no cameras.
Yeah, and
But
she loves the
she was
gays, so
she was
yeah,
actually really cool. And
yeah,
then I gotta say Nene. Like Nene, like I know I'm naming like all Atlanta people, but well,
icon.
aside from Tiffany Pollard, but Nene is literally a reality TV legend.
Yeah, yeah, she's iconic for sure. Who is or who are your dream collaborators or collaborator? It could be one person, it could be five people, anyone.
I'm gonna give you. I would love to collab with. I'm gonna give you like mainstream, and then I'll give you like a couple. Well, I can't even say like my independent artists as far as rappers, because some of them I've actually worked with now. But as far as mainstream, would love to work with Doechii. Because she's also from Tampa, and it's just something about her vibe and the way that she presents her music. Like I feel like she would push me. Actually, I like to work with people, one who are a vibe, but also people that push me. Like don't let me come in comfortable. Like, cause I can give you something cute when I'm comfortable, cause like, and I know it's my lane, but I've been in positions where it's like somebody kind of pushed me out my comfort zone, and that be some of my best stuff. So I want to work with somebody that's gonna like really make me push, and somebody like her, somebody like your Doja Cat is gonna give me a push. I love Missy Elliott. Would love to collab, even if it's just production wise. Would love to collab with her and Timberland, and also Pharrell Williams. I don't know why, like that has always stuck with me. I want him to produce a track for me so bad. Like I just need something from him.
Yeah, those are good collaborators. Those are good collaborators. So from your lips to God's ears, anything can
Yeah.
happen if
Oh,
you go
and
there.
one more, like my dream now, as far as like men though, like artists, and he's also one of my biggest inspirations, and people say I favor him too. Andre 3000.
Okay.
I would love. I don't care if that man get on and just say 2 words.
I'll play the
He
flute on your track.
or play the flute. I don't care. I just want to get in the studio.
Okay. Okay. That's good. We love Andrew 2000. Pretty iconic. Atlanta,
Yes.
Atlanta, all the Atlanta legends. Dream vacation destination.
I mean, it's not as elaborate to most, but I still haven't been to Turks and Caicos. I really want to go there. I want to go explore the UK. Something about the UK is calling my name.
Okay.
Like, no shade, I actually would move to the UK and like, I would spend the rest of my life there, to be quite honest. Like, I'm so fascinated with the UK. I definitely would love to go visit different countries in Africa. I've seen like some of my really close friends that I like went to college with, like go to Ghana, and it just looks beautiful over there. So I would love to go there.
Okay.
Just not Australia. But
Why?
let me
What's wrong
not
with
speak
Australia?
preemptively. Look, I don't want to speak preemptively. Now, if you book me, I will still come.
Yeah.
I will
Didn't
still
Tony
put
go to
in.
Australia on the season?
Look, I still, yeah, Tony did. And when she went, I literally was calling her. I'm like, girl, please be careful. And the only reason I say that is because they have big ass spiders. And I have the worst arachnophobia. Like,
Mm,
the spider could be this big, I would probably crash my car trying to get out. Like I hate spiders. So their spiders over there are like on steroids. I don't know what they got over there, but that's the only reason why. Other than
okay.
that, I would love to go to Australia actually. Because I love their accent. My Siri on my phone actually has an Australian accent.
Okay. Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Final question on the rapid fire list. What is your guilty pleasure?
Sour Patch Kids. Sour Patch Kids is like my favorite thing. That's a way to make me happy. Just pop up with Sour Patch Kids.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind for sure. Maybe that'll be my wedding gift. I'm just kidding.
Hello, right? It's maybe a big old bag of Sour Patch Kids that I would be so happy.
I'm just kidding. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit more about your life and your journey. But before I let you go, what is the one thing that you want to be remembered for as someone who is trying to make a name for himself when it comes to entertainment and when it comes to like, in general? what would you want to be remembered for?
Well, first, I want to say thank you for having me on. Like, I
Of course.
appreciate you reaching out and like wanting me to even come onto your platform to just share who I am. So thank you for that and for having the intentional and thought out interview. It's amazing. But what I would want to be remembered for is someone who defies or has defied the odds. Everything that's like stacked up against me, like one by one, day by day, is something that I try. There's something that I'm aiming to knock down, even if it's internal. And again, I want my story to like resonate with anyone else. Like if there's anything in your way, whether it's an internal struggle or something in the outside world, literally day by day, moment by moment, take take a minute to build yourself up and knock down whatever is in your way because there's a way around it all. Like you can have it all. Like I know sometimes like the saying is that you can't have it all, but you really can. You can have as much as your heart desires as long as you work for it. But yeah, that's one thing I would want to be remembered for just throughout entertainment as a whole. Like I beat the odds. Whatever somebody thought I couldn't do or whatever I thought I couldn't do, I did it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Samii.
thank
Really
you.
appreciate your time. And thank you for listening and for taking your time to spend your time with us. Wherever you're listening from, please don't forget to follow on all streaming platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe as well. This has been such a great conversation
Absolutely.
with Samii. And so I will leave Samii's information in the description so you can go check out, his stuff, his music, available everywhere you stream your platforms. You can watch the new season of Chasing Atlanta right now on YouTube, and you can get Samii's merch, right? And I will also
Yes.
share that link. Yeah, he's wearing the merch.
Look, you
So
gotta be your own billboard.
you gotta be your own billboard. Well, guess what? That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And as always, Odejuma.